Hello everyone, and welcome to the Dice Commando YouTube channel. I'm Andrew, with you here as always. This is the Commando Cast, a video cast about all things Star Wars Destiny. This video and others like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. Please show your support with a like and subscribe, and be sure to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any new videos. If you want to get involved with the channel, consider becoming a channel member. There are many benefits to channel membership, including access to our Discord, exclusive deck tech and strategy videos, and the opportunity to help create channel content. I want to sincerely thank all our channel members, as I truly couldn't do this without your support. You guys rock. Go Commando. During RH3 high stakes spoiler season, and leading up to the release weekend tournament, one of my early takes was that the Inquisitors would be a strong force to be reckoned with. And while the Inquisitors performed well, it's safe to say they never really reached the level of consistency or dominance that I feared they would on my first takes. This was likely in part due to the speed of the high stakes meta, or perhaps due to the problems pairing up base sides when a partner goes down. Thank you, Ninth Sister. Or more likely, it was the issues in affording all those cool tricks if your early ramp didn't materialize, like your merchants. So regardless of the exact root cause, the Inquisitors are getting a lot of very valuable tools with the implementation of the RH-legal reprint list. Today I'm running down the cards I'm going to be working into my Inquisitors decks and looking at two different Inquisitors builds. Hey Destiny folks, welcome back to the Commando Cast, and happy Friday. Today we are talking the Inquisitors. So, the Inquisitors had been around since Faltering Allegiances, right? We'd had Second Sister, we'd had Ninth Sister, we'd had Fifth Brother. They had made their way into various builds, but it wasn't until High Stakes and the Grand Inquisitor was spoiled that really things started to start clicking on, man, there's some really good, really threatening stuff. Also kind of paired with the fact that Dark Reflections was really starting to come around again. You were seeing those base 3 sides everywhere, threats for that. So a lot of things kind of happening at the same time. So the Grand Inquisitor, with first off the team up one, was big because it opened up a lot of builds. He himself was really strong character, really strong die, 2/3, the 2 shield, and then his special, which lets you deal damage to character and resolve one of your character or upgrade dice, showing damage, increasing value by 2 if your opponent has one or more dice showing a blank, right? Which is, of course, kind of like, the tribal theme, if you want to call it that, of the Inquisitors. And then on top of that, you had the Grand Inquisitor lightsaber, which is just a phenomenal die, right? I mean, the Grand Inquisitor's lightsaber came out in Empire of War, or at least the FFG version, and this is using that parallel dice, and it was always a huge die, but it's completely unplayable, especially back then, it being cost 4 with no redeploy. But this is far from that, right? 3 base 1, plus 3, 2 shield special. If an opponent has a die showing a blank, you may exhaust this upgrade to roll one of attached character's character dice into your pool. Re-roll this die instead of removing it, right? So that effect in itself is really good, but then this one gets to come back in all if they have a blank, right? Combine that with the ever-present salt flats. They'll let you blank something if you can have a leader, which the Grand Inquisitor is. And the pieces started falling into place relatively quickly. So, what I'm putting up right now, we've actually looked at this graphic before and kind of, things to come when we're talking about reprint lists. The Inquisitors have a bajillion and a half tools at their disposal. And there's really fundamentally, I see 2 different ways to play them that are similar but different. I mean, of course, they're similar because it kind of fits that tribal theme, but they're very different, right? You can run the Grand Inquisitor and the Ninth Sister for more of an aggro type build, or you could run Grand Inquisitor Second Sister for more of like a pseudo-control-y mid-range type build. I mean, I guess to be fair, in the grand scheme of Destiny, especially like high stakes meta, aggro kind of means something different, but I'm, putting it in kind of grand terms of Destiny. Ninth Sister Grand Inquisitor would be more of like an aggro tube wide, whereas Second Sister Grand Inquisitor would be kind of like a mid-range type of deck. But with reprint, of course, we got a whole bunch of new tools. Combine them with the existing tools. Inquisitorus, which you can play with Second Sister, is really, really strong. You have the Inquisitor chair. You have all of your blank tricks, your shield removal, right? They have pieces of lie, which is not irrelevant with the reprint list and Shodos and reposts and everything. Yeah, that's just a lot of good tools. You add in hidden motive there, which is a removal, or a lot of times it makes them go on something they don't want, which can oftentimes be a blank. Anyway, I can go on for hours, but I think you're getting. I mean, you guys understand the general gist here, which is, the tribal function here is to play opponent disruption and then use that to your advantage, right? Using blanks to your advantage. Right, so what I wanted to do today was kind of go through two very, very basic builds. Now, what's been interesting, so one of the problems that I mentioned with the Inquisitors, or at least that I kept running up to, was if your ramp didn't materialize early, you had a hard time with these guys. And that's because of two pretty distinct reasons. One, a lot of their really cool events cost a lot of money. And two, you had to still get stuff out, especially with like a Ninth Sister build, right? Where she has that, Ninth Sister, there's some struggles with her 3 pay side and then her +3 modified. You have to get stuff out so that you have the base sides, or you have to eat into your ramp for the 3s. Start running into challenges there. And like I said, your event package used to be pretty expensive. And that's why a lot of those tools that we got really, really matter, because you're adding hidden motive, which is 0, or confidence, which is really, really bonkers strong for 1, and you can kind of start taking stuff out. So while that was while like I said, the ramp not materializing could cause problems, we've been able to, I believe now, go into a significantly lower cost curve across the board. So what I'm showing up right now is my Inquisitorius second sister build, and this is more of the control-y build. And you can see that, obviously there's going to be a lot of similarities between these two builds, but this one you're playing a little bit more off of trying to get the flipping, trying to play the blanks. So just going through the upgrades, we have Ancient, which is, why would you not? We have Dagger. Here I'm playing Force Valor, because Force Valor lets you do the flipping, right? You can flip to non-specials. You have 1 Grand Inquisitor's lightsaber. The reason I'm playing one of those is because we're playing 2 lightsaber pulls. I'm playing 2 lightsaber pulls in both of these builds because it helps us get what we want. 2 Nemons, of course, that's, Nemon's perfect for aggro and control, however you want to go. And then 1 Killian, and the reason I've dropped to 1 Killian is because of the Dagger of Mortis. Supports the 2 interrogation chair and binds all things. There's no merchant here, and that was kind of what I was referring to earlier, is I feel comfortable not running merchant anymore in these builds because your cost curve is significantly reduced, right? If we go into our events, Dark Dispatch is a 2, Dark Reflections is a 2, so we're running 4 of those, but we have Forsaken, we have Motive, we have Isolation, we have Overconfidence, Pieces of Lie, and Unending Hate is a 1, but you have a lot more zeros now to kind of give you what you need in addition. Now, as far as Salt Flats go, it's very strong for the blanking effect. I guess you can use it to flip to 3 as well, but a lot of the times I think you're going to be using it as control. But this deck's not absurdly fast, especially compared to a lot of stuff out there right now. So, be intelligent with, how you use that. So the main trick here, right, is Second Sister generally wants to come in later in the turn. Your Grand Inquisitor you're going to throw out first, kind of threaten what's going on there, make them respond, and then Second Sister can come out, and that's where your disruption stuff starts coming in. Generally when Grand Inquisitor comes out, especially if he's got the stuff on him and those threatening those specials, they have to start really thinking about what they want to be doing, right? And that's why I say, it's more of a control. Definitely, it's not control, right? But it's that's why I say it's more of like a mid range. Is you're trying to play a little more tricks with disruption and kind of making your opponent make hard choices. Right, next build we have the Ninth Sister build. Now I'm doing this one second because this is my preferred build. Right now it does lose out on the Inquisitorius plot, which is huge, right? Inquisitorius plot is really huge, especially with like interrogation chair and all that. But this one puts a lot of pressure on when things go your way. So for the upgrade package, it's mostly the same, except instead of Force Valor, we're running Shodos, right? And that's to try and keep your guys alive. One of the real big includes here is Ancient Lightsaber. Obviously it's in both builds, but Ancient provides those it's 1/1+3. Ancient provides the 2 base sides for Ninth Sister, because anybody who's plays Ninth Sister knows that you get really boned when that +3 is out on the table sometimes, right? She'll come out, she'll roll 2+3s, which sounds great in practice, but you can't pair it up with anything. So we, of course, have an interrogation chair. Again, now that's unique, but so good. 2 interrogation chairs, 2 binds. Again, no merchant. Basically the same argument making before. Running salt flats again here. And then the event package is very, very, very similar. Actually, I think the event package is the same. I think the event package is the same, actually, between the two. Now, this does say 31 points, but that's because it doesn't, reflect the team up within the builder. But so those are the very the big play here, by the way, is dark reflections. With Grand, like even if you get it first round, you can Grand Inquisitor and potentially hit for 9, right? Get Grand Inquisitor out, get Night Sister out, 3/3/3, especially if they've spent all their cash, which regularly happens first round. It does hurt your ramp, but 9 damage to potentially blow somebody down is really great. Going back to the first build, actually you'll notice that Dark Reflections is in there. That's not something you're going to want to be playing early in this deck. But again, there's a lot of 3s on. I couldn't not include it. Maybe you could go into a 1 of here if you don't like it. If you don't want it early, in fact, that's probably a fair change to make to this deck. Is really only run 1 of those, and then maybe another piece of lie, or maybe another something that does blanking. Because Second Sister, obviously, you're not going to want to be doing that with her. You're really looking to do it with your weapons. But remember, Ancient's got a +3, Mortis has got a +3, Killian's got a +3. So you've got boatloads of 3s. So I couldn't not include it. So those are the 2 builds with Inquisitors. I mean, functionally, that's really where we stand. I think that Grand Inquisitor is pretty essential to running these strategies here. I mean, that's basically what started the conversation, like we mentioned on the intro, of having the Inquisitors to work with. So, I know they've seen a lot of challenges. I know they've kind of been like that tier 1.5 area. I don't know. They've been doing okay, but they're definitely like a B tier deck. But I think that they can move up significantly with a lot of these new tools. So anyway, folks, let me know, have you been playing the Inquisitors? What else can I include? What other tricks do you like to pull with these guys? Let us know. Let us share. See you in the comments below. If nothing else, folks, go Commando.